Hello, everyone. Early afternoon here on the 5th of February, 2019. And welcome to each and every one of you to I think what we might call a narrowcast hangout here on YouTube. Bear with me one second. I think what we might call a narrowcast hangout. Let's turn down that replay on the YouTube side. Hello, Harvey. Hello, Axe. Welcome to all of you today. As I mentioned, a rather narrowcast hangout here on YouTube. It's not going to appeal to a lot of people, specifically because, hey, JK, specifically, hi, Linda, specifically because it deals with the topic of monetization, as we'll cover off here. A lot of people come on YouTube. The great majority, the overwhelming majority of people come onto YouTube and they don't really, monetization is not a concern. It's not why they're here on the channel. And we're not here to discuss, nice to see you, Linda. We're not here to discuss all the rhymes and reasons and wherefores that people come on the channel, but just those specifically that do content, whatever that may be. And how are you doing, Susie? And choose to apply for monetization and maybe not. Hello, Jody. Nice to see you. Happy Tuesday evening to you over in the UK. I hope that you are doing well. So I hope that you'll find this interesting. This is just my particular experience. 6 years being monetized on YouTube across 3 different channels here. Of course, we have the Rosie O'Kelly channel. We have the Jenn and Rosie Reality TV. And the Rosie Murphy channel, which is more geared towards how-to and, you know, not so much daily things, but specific things. Hello, Carolyn. Gina Smith, nice to see you. Nice to see you, Harvey. Yeah, that's yeah, you're going to take a look at Google financial statement to find out how YouTube is doing. It might be relevant. You know, the RV radio, the smart thing about YouTube. Hello, Diamonds. How are you, sweetie? Hello, Norma. The smart thing about YouTube and Google was Google taking over YouTube allowed it to have the deep pockets, because in the short run, they didn't really give much thought to the profitability of YouTube or not. They just knew over time that YouTube, thank you, JK, appreciate that, hashtag JK, RV Radio, nice video content. I'm going around today and looking at a lot of people's content. Ola, Maxine, hi, weather sunny, but cold. Hello, Mom Beth, we're in stereo here with Uber and me. So she's got an earbud in each ear, I guess. So yeah, I've been going around and looking at some content. You know, monetization is one of those things, but YouTube was purchased by Google. They knew it would lose money, but you know, they didn't really care, because it's a platform that has eyeballs and is growing by leaps and bounds. And it's much bigger than now cable TV or network TV. More people tune into YouTube every week than watch cable TV, local, anything at all. Netflix, it's by and large #1. How are you, Kathy? So, you know, if they ever turn a profit, it's like, you know, they eventually do. Obviously, with the finances, they go over a few humps once in a while. But let's not fool ourselves. Content and monetization are the backbone of YouTube. And when you are monetizing your channel, you are at that point. Hey, Chris. Hey, Scott. You are Vanessa. How you doing, sweetie? You are at that point in tandem with the goals and aims of YouTube. Because if you make money, YouTube makes money, and therefore you have the same common shared interest. And this is something that I think escapes a lot of people's attention, is that YouTube is a business And the more monetization that there is, the more the YouTube also potentially profits from that. Of course, they do reserve the right to monetize. Thank you, Susie. I'm feeling good today. Yeah, a lot of people cut the line to the cable. Hello, Mitch Jones. A lot of people don't even watch TV anymore. They cut the cable. Kathy says 75 here today. So awesome. Yeah, you're a contractor. You have a shared interest in that. YouTube success is your success and vice versa. And we'll get into some of the reasons why this idea seems so un-American to people, that you receive some compensation for the efforts that you put in and the content that you create on YouTube. So let's get down to it. I think can keep things pretty compact, but also happy birthday, Kathy. I guess it's 75 degrees or 75 years old. I'm not sure, but 43 here, which is brutal for Santa Rosa with the sun out.
Yeah. There are girls walking around in shorts.
Girls in shorts and stuff. So
it was 28 plus.
There you go. Missy Jenn's just back. One of the biggest questions that you'll ever face on YouTube is, should you monetize? And it doesn't have all the drama. When I did it back in 2013, and for the channels we created, it did not have the drama. You put up a certain amount of content, they looked at your channel. You didn't have to worry about all the watch hours and all the subs. Although there was subs, you had to have a certain threshold. They were looking to make sure that you were doing content. Yes, so cold the homeless disappeared. Not, oh, just temperature 75. Okay. The one thing that you're going to come across is that decision whether to try to monetize your channel or not. And let me tell you, once you make that decision and you choose, hey, Star Walker, and you choose to monetize your channel will never be seen the same way again unless you back off, which some, at least one of my friends has done to remove the monetization and go to the Streamlabs support. We're not going to talk about Streamlabs or some of the other things today. But when you do monetize, your motivations, your whole channel will come under a different scrutiny. The motivation will then be seen, a lot of that motivation will be seen in terms of monetization on your channel, and you've got to be able to expect some blowback on that. I mean, the thing that I want to make clear is that when you monetize and you're rewarding, you're giving people the content that they want to watch. And smart people, they don't try to sanitize their channels. They don't try to groom comments. Yeah, there's occasionally somebody is removed for really hateful stuff, but you don't mess with your thumbs up and your thumbs down. You let people just have the free scope on your channel to express the opinions that you want. But when you monetize and you start to earn money, then you're giving, that's a feedback and a real nice feedback loop that you're giving people what they want to see. Okay, you're not just throwing things up there. Well, you might be, but some things are getting traction and some things aren't. The thing that I always have to kind of chuckle at, we live in America, and I know a lot of you are worldwide in England too, and we do enjoy liberties. The pursuit of happiness is ingrained in all of these societies. And also a capitalist structure. In other words, the more you do, the more you try to achieve, theoretically, the more you're rewarded. And in most places in the US, at least in most quarters of YouTube that I frequent, this idea of this freedom, this ability to be a capitalist, this ability to pursue and to earn money for doing something that obviously takes time to do, seems here in this strange little area to really rankle a very small minority of people the wrong way. Now, we're not here to talk about e-begging today. Let's be totally clear. Let's be totally clear about that. This has nothing to do coming on and giving a state of the steering wheel address and demanding people to pay taxes to pay your daily upkeep. That has nothing to do with that. This has to do with the passive monetization of a channel. In other words, earning some small pennies of revenue when somebody clicks on and watches a video. So it really is the ultimate American capitalist way to earn money by the fruits of your labor. Okay, and when you put yourself in tandem with YouTube and enjoy the fruits of those labors, you also, I believe, you elevate your channel standing within YouTube. And this is a very important thing. Now, YouTube does reserve the right to even though you turn off monetization, if you look at the fine print, they do reserve the right to run ads on your content. And on places like YouTube Red. But the reality is, by and large, they try to respect that. They try to respect that wish, but when you choose not to monetize your content, and we're talking only in a financial sort of way, then your aims and YouTube's diverge. In fact, whether you like it or not, the reality is that you and YouTube are no longer in tandem with what you're doing on the channel. Because in point of fact and in realistic thought, YouTube is all about trying to earn money, trying to earn revenue, and trying to make a Google as profitable an enterprise as it can be. So people that contribute to that, YouTube's algorithms, whether you like it or not, are designed to boost and move those people forward to more significant placements and rankings on YouTube. And I agree, Linda Francine, earning money for entertainment, there's nothing wrong with that. It's the American way. You go to a concert, you pay a ticket to get in. You go to a baseball game, you pay money. You don't stand outside the stadium. Well, maybe some people do, and you complain about the players are being paid to play a game. Same with football. Same with every other endeavor, ice hockey, boxing, any other entertainment endeavor, sports shows, memorabilia shows, trade shows, all those things and many more demand that you pay a fee. And somebody's making money off of that. But on YouTube, hey Sam, how you doing, Sherry? But on YouTube, some would have you believe that a totally different set of rules applies down here. And that's exactly right. Who works for free? If you allow people to push you in that direction, you know, you're basically working for free, which makes you little more than a slave. Now, that's not to say that you don't enjoy doing the content. And like I say, the great majority of people could care less about monetizing, and that's a cool thing. Come on, say your piece, have your platform, have your friends, have your Hangouts, do whatever the heck you want to do. But just recognize that your interests and YouTube's interests diverge at that point. And as far as you forwarding YouTube's business, you are no longer part of that equation. So you can understand when they're evaluating and talking about algorithms, that it's really the channels that are monetized are the ones that really end up carrying the freight and making money for YouTube. Let me tell you something else. You will definitely make enemies on YouTube. We see it down there. I just tell you, it's this opener for this whole monetization thing. And you will have people that see you in a different way. I had somebody a couple weeks ago say, I don't like the money aspects of the channel. I've been with you a long time. And it's like, you're free to move on and not watch. But, you know, when you put the time and effort in and you put, you know, the hundreds of hours in a month, you know, stand strong and say, yes, I do deserve to make something off of that and bring the entertainment value. You know, there's some people that believe that YouTube should just be without any incentive whatsoever. Maybe that day will come. Maybe that day will come when they say, hey, it's just a video sharing platform. If you want to do it. But I doubt they'll do that without a fee attached to being able to upload your content. That's what I say, Sherry. That's what I say. I don't put it quite like that, but I say if you don't enjoy it, you have lots of other places to go, and then you can stand around and you can bitch about the people that monetize and make money on YouTube. But just remember, when you go out to your job and you work, oh, it's a different story if you didn't get a paycheck or you weren't compensated for your time. Then it would be, oh, brother, that would be a whole different kettle of fish. Okay, so there we go. So what does YouTube want to see, in my opinion? And again, this is my 6 years of experience of the things that I have observed in 6 years of monetization on YouTube. 6 years is a lifetime down here. 6 years is a lifetime. Listen to somebody that's been monetized for years. Not the new people that come on and say, well, my experience the last year or whatever, the last 8 months. YouTube's geared for the long haul. And there's a definite weeding out process that separates the wheat from the chaff. Hey, how you doing, John? Nice to see you, BTB. That's right, Gina, you work hard. Simon has a question. If you're not looking to get monetized on YouTube, but you want to create a channel, do you suggest becoming a premium YouTube member? Is there a difference? I don't think so. The premium side is just guaranteed watching without commercials. It's commercial free. Some people have ad blocker, but the reality is, thank you, Robert. The reality is, let's see, Jody says, is it true, Rosie, that you only get a monetary contribution if your viewer watches 3 adverts all the way through? You know, I'm not sure what the watch through thing is, but I know that you're never supposed to come on and promote people to watch videos. You don't even talk about that. If something appeals to somebody, maybe some real estate thing, somebody might watch it through a retirement community. But there's also things called pre-roll ads that before you're even allowed to watch the video, then you have a 15-second or 10-second pre-roll ad that's in there. Okay, and then there might be an end roll. And people say, well, I put ad blocker on, I'm not watching. Yeah, you are, because YouTube Red, which is the part without the ads but per views, is making people money that are monetized too. You have YouTube ad revenue, and then you have YouTube Red. And YouTube Red is growing very rapidly, and it has nothing to do with having ad blocker on, anything like that. Okay, it's very interesting. All that is coming from subscription-based stuff that you don't have any control over when you're watching the product. But you don't hear a lot of people understand that. Yeah, they're asking if you want to be a premium member because, well, you can download things. It used to be you could download things if you saw it on other people's streams or other people's YouTube channels. Now you have to have YouTube Premium to be able to have that function. Hey, Emma, how you doing, Sean? Nice to see you. John says most of the money is made from simple impressions. You need to make more from clicks. It's all, there's a lot of different streams that go into the monetization. So just understand that you will automatically, some people will have the opinion that you should work for nothing and all of your efforts should not be rewarded. Well, to me, that flies in the face of the capitalist system, and everything that made America great is the profit incentive and the ability to create and be rewarded for saying. So what does YouTube want to see? And this is something I want to be really clear about on here, okay? And I'm going to talk about how Hangouts fit in this scheme. In my opinion, I think we all agree that some of the most powerful things and the most useful tool, how you doing, Monkey Boy, that did you retire yet? Yes, Sherry. What does YouTube want to see? And I think this pretty much holds across the board. And we know most people use YouTube. We kind of get a little inbred type of community here where we're seeing the same people and talking about the same things day after day. But there's hundreds of millions of users all over the world, and a lot of them go to YouTube to find out how to do something. Okay, if I had to tell you, this is the real strip of ore, or the real vein of ore to be mined on YouTube is that. And as I said, content that explains, content that inspires, content that teaches, content that takes you places. Those are really the huge things that are money spinners on YouTube. Okay? People that teach you how to do things. I've had video on the Rosie Murphy channel, how to unstick galvanized pipes. I don't know, hundreds of thousands of views. Simply standing there in the middle of a renovation project and knocking out a 5-minute video, hundreds of thousands of views. Right? How to create trimless windows in the middle of a renovation project. Just stop and do a video. How to roughen a shower mixer. I think something like 500,000 views. Just a consistent, huge money spinner. Why? Because you tell somebody how to do something. Show someone how to do something. But then you have the kind of oddball thing. Missy Jenn takes a Rancho update a year and a half ago, walking in the garden. 1 million views, a viral video. We'll talk about that. And what that experience was like to live through that viral experience, or making a lemon meringue pie. And sitting there and watching, 30, 40,000 views per hour coming through. It's crazy. All right. Content that takes you places. Hello, Bosco. How are you? Food videos are huge. We talk about all that. Content that inspires, content that takes you places. Cooking is a huge win. I have a wonderful friend, Tess Cooks for You. She's now a silver button holder. Wonderful. You never see what she looks like. Wonderful Pennsylvania gal. Has a wonderful channel called Tess Cooks for You. Now a silver button, 100,000 plus sub person. Why? Because she makes great content. She presents in the same format. She does a wonderful job. How about the travel channels? How about the RV channels? The people, the nomadic fanatics, the sailing La Vagabond, Captain Rick Moore, all these sailing channels. Farming channels. One Lonely Farmer. Yes.
100,000 subscribers.
Well, that's a silver button. 1 million is a gold button.
You just got the silver button.
Then you have a diamond. I think it's 10 million subscribers.
You just got it like last month.
Yeah. I don't know. We get the brown paper bag button.
Yeah, I just got the cork board in the last week.
Yeah, standard response to doing something. See if there's a YouTube video on it.
Just saying, I mean, it's fun.
View counts. That's right, Jack. People talk about subs versus view counts, but that's really a false doctrine. Because if you look at, for example, you see somebody like Mike Living Free, or you see Justin Incredible, that are some of the big sub people in the community on the peripheral of the community. They'll have 30, 40,000 subs, but but you'll see somebody like Rosie O'Kelly that has 50% more views than they have. And let me tell you, some views that really do count. Okay, so let's talk about content that takes you places. Cooking is a huge win. The travel channels. How about crafting channels? People doing stuff with crafting. Looking at craftsmen with almost godlike skills, plastering a ceiling, or just digging out, excavating for a swimming pool, just all kinds of things. Car channels, all kinds of things. that just captivate your attention. You just look at that and you go, wow, look at the high skill. You know, somebody takes aluminum tin cans and they melt it down, and they have a fire ant hole, so they pour molten aluminum down that fire ant hole, and then they unearth it, and they have a beautiful sculpture, things like that. I mean, the crazy stuff. Yeah, do a vid on getting plastered. That's right. Jewelry channels, all those things. Okay. Unusual pursuits, people that do very weird things. There's a guy called Glass Singer. Well, it's a trans sister, probably about 80, and makes her own vacuum tubes and just incredible content here on YouTube. The unusual, you know, the highly unusual really gets the attention. And of course, we know dangerous stunts. People that do crazy stuff like swinging through the arch at Arches National Park in Utah and not having enough rope when you jump. So instead of swinging through the arch, you just hit the ground down. Just crazy stuff. Stunts, things that land people in jail, people that we've seen all the building walkers, skyscraper crawlers, rooftop people that do rooftop things, and they die once in a while. The Chinese guy that would hang on and do pull-ups on the side of the building. Well, unfortunately, he went down on the side of the building one time that had a very smooth, highly polished aluminum surfaces on it. He could get no grip to pull himself back up. Gone. These kooks that go out on the end of cranes on the top of construction sites, 120 floors high in Shanghai, out on the tips. I mean, people watch the hell out of it. It's crazy stuff. You know, somebody on a 300-meter tower in Romania driving a unicycle around the top of the brick tower. Crazy. People share that stuff all the time. Okay. How about product reviews? We started doing product reviews. We've now done our 5th review on our LG washer dryer combo. 5 years, 5 times we reviewed this thing, and every time it gets bigger and bigger. Why? Because with every review, people are more curious about how something has lasted over 5 years. Product reviews, very important stuff. Yeah, showing off. That's exactly right. Cat videos, dog videos, all those kind of things. So what does YouTube not like to see? Okay, what does YouTube knock down? In my opinion, content that's hateful. Okay, why? Because you cannot put advertising on it. Okay, you can be as hateful as you want, but you risk getting a strike, and you certainly won't get your content monetized. Okay, attacks, belittling, bullying people. Okay, there's some other things. Religion, politics, contrived threats like fake news, and we've seen people start to get pushed off of YouTube for that kind of stuff. And YouTube and content that's threatening or content that's deemed maliciously. Remember, bum fights used to be the big thing. Hey, Reaper man. Hey, how you doing, Cobra John? Remember YouTube? I mean, it was a rash about 6 years ago. There was bum fights, and oh man, people were going crazy. Well, YouTube determined that hey, Shauna, how you doing? YouTube determined that many of them, in fact, were becoming staged and dangerous, and many others were very exploitive in content. It's one thing to accidentally film a fight, and YouTube is good on review to look at something and say, was this organic? Did this just naturally happen? Or is this something that could have been staged? Remember that, Shauna? The bum fights. And I'm glad you had a happy birthday. I enjoyed your upload. You know, content that's faked or conjured up. You know, they don't, that stuff's like a no-go. And again, this is just my opinion. And Sherry said, I'll tell you this, no matter what the content, you have to like the person who is creating the content. Very true. Very true, Sherry. That's a really good overlay on the whole thing. Now, some people you'll never see. Tess cooks for you. Silver button holder on YouTube, 113,000 subs. You'll never see what she looks like. But, you know, she has a wonderfully engaging style. She explains things beautifully. And she's reaping the rewards of that, which is fantastic. And she's built herself inventory of meticulously edited videos that will just continue to get higher ranked in the YouTube rankings, and it'll push her higher and higher, and she will just be able to sit back and reap the benefit of all of the hard work that she did. Let's see. Hipster said, Rosie, I'm very upset. Apparently Andrew's scoped saying that you were talking smack. No, I never talk smack. I don't talk smack about it. I was joking with you the other night, Hipster, about Prime and Coop's pump, about tell us, Coop, about how you really feel about about Greg losing his ranch. That's still on my hangout. I didn't see anything scoped about you, but I told that to you when you were in here. That's the only thing I can think of. Just tweaking your knob about that a little bit. Out of lavender at the moment. Yeah, I know, Hipster. I was pulling your chain a little bit that day. You know, I know you like to see some good, some quality content, honey. But as far as scoping and stuff, like, nah, not my thing. Not my thing. Anyway, so that's the stuff I don't think that they want to see. You know, the worst part here, and this is where YouTube really, I know you, Hipster. That's why I think it's funny as hell. That's why I think it's really, I have a hoot with that stuff. You know, people like to tweak content creators. Sometimes you like to tweak the side chatters too and have a little bit of fun. But somebody like Hipster is here to have a good time too. Why the hell not? You know, let's kick the tires, light the fires, baby. Let's get it going. The thing I think is brilliant about YouTube is the way that they force you to march through the fields of fire and over broken glass to get monetization to be meaningful. They don't even send you, they don't send checks anymore anyway. They just put it directly into your bank account. They force you to go over to Hill and Dale, because the one thing you're going to prove to them is that you have a passion for doing what you do. In other words, if you come on and say, I'm going to create content that's just going to make me richer than hell, you're going to probably be defeated long before you ever see that first $100 of monetization, and you're going to be bounced out of the game. And you're going to have a very, very bitter feeling in your head that you worked your ass off and you didn't get your money. Well, in my opinion, the reality is YouTube wants it to be a long haul passion. Some people can have a initial viral video that does great, but then you find off, things trail off. They think, oh, this is going to make my channel explode. But it trails off very rapidly because there's no other content that people want to see on the channel, and people just move away. There's something that has to keep people on the channels, and this is what YouTube forces people to do when it comes to monetization. Put time in, put content. Put time in, put content. It's like Casey Neistat said. When somebody said, what's the secret to succeeding on YouTube? And he said, keep uploading content, keep making content, keep uploading to YouTube. And I think that he's very right. Very right. Okay. I think it's very correct. Passion to share. That's what it's about. Money, you'll not survive on YouTube. It's not enough of a motivator to ever make you a dime of profit on YouTube. The thing is the passion that you exhibit over the long haul. So frustration comes to pass, but passion is what carries you over, I believe. And this is I think YouTube's true acid test. This is why channels stay stagnant and they don't grow, well, of course, some people don't care. They're using it just for being here, which is cool. Some people don't intend to monetize anyway, and it's not significant to them. But the ones that are trying and thinking about it, YouTube does really make you be a content creator and provide things of value to be rewarded, in my opinion. That's the real acid test of YouTube. And we see it here all the time. People will diss monetization, and it's fine if you don't want it, never wanted it, and you think it's a source of trouble. That's cool. But there'll be the sour grapes people that didn't get it, or you know, aren't willing to put the time in, and they'll automatically start to diss it out of hand as worthless and tell you how little it is, how little it is. Yeah, Chris said there are channels that have only a few hundred videos, but they have millions of subscribers. Exactly. Because something they're doing, Chris, connects with those people. Might be the quality experience. It might be the highly unusual things that they do, or some kind of skill that's beyond belief. So let's talk about what Jen and I have done over the years. And people are always asking us, always messaging week in, week out, month in, month. And this is the first monetization hangout I've done in like 4 years. Okay, because it's not something that's going to appeal to a lot of people. But people are curious about which of the things that we've put up have really been productive in terms of monetization. And I'm going to keep you hanging for a second because I'm going to get something to drink. Right. Oh. Yeah, the house repairs, the renovation bids. Number one, intersecting with famous people, okay, or people that are known in history out there. For example, gone to visit Jimmy Swaggart's Christian Family Worship Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and the video Meeting Jimmy Swaggart. It continues to be month in, month out, a big, huge video. Why? Well, for one thing, Jimmy Swaggart is always topical, even many years after his falling outs with prostitutes and things like that. Also, he's getting older. You know, people still tune into his ministry, the Sun Life Broadcasting Network. He's still a very big focal point of the channel, of people's lives. And I imagine when he passes on, there'll be a gigantic upsurge of people looking at videos of that. But in the meantime, what was unusual about that video is that Jimmy Swaggart could not shape the message that I was putting out. Now, I went into that church with a good heart and a good spirit, with no sense of mockery, with no sense of disrespect. And I had a very enriching experience having gone into that worship center. Okay, let me make that perfectly clear. But I was a truth teller in showing you the stuff you don't see on TV. The back lobby, the fact that half of the seats aren't filled, stuff with the choir warming up, doing all that kind of, that's it, Jody. Hey, how you doing, Greatest Ever? Yeah, I didn't catch that in time, Linda. Yeah, it was in Baton Rouge. We're talking about monetization and some of the things that have really been productive for us in terms of monetization. Okay, that's been week in, week out, month in and month out. You know, we'll get to the biggest one in a minute, but week in and week out, that's been the real productive thing because people got to see a whole well-edited sequence. And on the Rosie Murphy channel, they got to see the warm-up before the church service. We even had a live stream event from that church, from that worship center in there. Okay. That continues to be a big video on the channel as part of our 7,636 mile journey. W.C. Fields, do you know how much public in the public commons, Creative Commons, it's now public content? It used to be copyrighted content. I found on the Rosie Murphy channel, which I like to put up vintage television, commercials, vintage, all types of vintage stuff. And I found a clip of W.C. Fields that he was a juggler, and few people know before his movie career that he was a famous vaudeville performer and was a world-class juggler. And, you know, people continue to watch the heck out of that little 3-minute clip, and they're astounded that this guy had this kind of talent when all they ever knew was him from movies. Is the money you receive an amount that thanks? Well, we're going to get to that, Jody. We're going to get to that. It depends what people define. It depends what it depends what people's. Thank you, Sean. It depends what people's perspective is on that. You know, do you pick dollar bills up off the ground or do you let them just fly in the wind? Well, people tell you Rosie goes diving after pennies when she sees them on the street. But there's W.C. Fields. I put up yesterday on the Rosie Murphy channel 5 commercials that would guarantee to be outrageous on if they were shown today. I guarantee you that'll have a lot of people watch. It's all free content out there that you can repackage and put together on a channel. I call it vintage, cool vintage audio and video. Just have a separate category to do something like this. All publicly free, public domain content. Take a movie like Reefer Madness, all about marijuana in the 1930s, a pretty wild movie created by the district attorney of Los Angeles' office, funded by them. It became a cult classic. Anybody can upload that movie. You'll fight for copyright because you'll have copyright squatters that try to come in and say, oh, that's our music on their, you know, bullshit. The movie was produced in the 1930s, 50 years before you guys were even born. You know, you'll have that kind of stuff. Okay. How about intersecting famous places? When we went down to LA and on the Rosie Murphy channel, we put the drone up in the air and we went to the place where somebody happened to mention to us, hey, you know, the Beverly Hillbillies mansion is it's right around the corner there. Oh, hell yeah. We took the drone, we flew the drone up, and we got wonderful 4K video flying over, looking down these cement pond, all of the grounds of that. It's taken off to be a big drone video. Okay, stuff like that. Flying over the schoolhouse from the birds and all kinds of historical places. Prelinger Archives, that's right. How you doing, Lion Screw? Nice to see you. Take people where there's famous places, famous names. Where Marilyn Monroe died. Rosie's live streaming from Marilyn Monroe's death bungalow in LA. Can almost guarantee a ton of people will be watching that. Or this is where James Dean wrecked his car. Or this is where the great comedic actress Thelma Todd died in a garage behind her place off of Pacific Palisades. People love that kind of stuff. Intersecting famous places like the Beverly Hills mansion. Like I said, things that I've done, how to teach people how to make trimless windows, how to unstick galvanized pipe, how to rough in a shower mixer. One woman drywall hang when I'm renovating the Shine Shack. People watch the hell out of that stuff. How to fix a leaning fence because of wet, damp ground that's causing it to. Anything that has how to, anything that you can teach somebody is gonna, that's right, Line Screw's got the Brady Bunch house. All that stuff is constantly watched because people are always, hey Chris, always curious. Okay. Now let's drill down on Hangouts. This is something that you really have to wrap your head around this. And in a lot of ways, Hangouts are a great thing for meeting people. They're a great place to have a lot of fun. I enjoy having Hangouts. Now, this one will have a specific purpose. So going forward, a lot of people will watch this because of 6 years monetized and wanting to hear feedback on that. But generally, some people look at Hangouts, they look at numbers of Hangouts, and in reality, in YouTube land, it doesn't really count for a lot. Why not? Hey, how you doing? The reason that it doesn't count for a lot is because Hangouts have a very short shelf life. In other words, whatever drama is coming down this past week with me and being involved in the, Stewie's memorial within the bar scene there in Sebastopol, whatever drama that was, I can guarantee you a year from now, ain't nobody going to be looking at that. Nobody's going to care. Because people's attention moves ahead to the newest thing. So when people do Hangouts and they're flaming people and roasting people, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, nobody cares. They're not going to go back and watch it. They don't care. That's right. They're good for building a base, but not for a long-term view. Correct. Because to YouTube, they're of no value whatsoever because they don't teach people anything at all. They don't take anybody anyplace. They might be fun to watch, but they're very temporary in terms of their interest factor. So therefore, YouTube just as opposed to watching W.C. Fields juggle or watching Line Screw discuss the Brady Bunch house. Those things just go and go and go and go and go. That's why the view counts. You look at people that continuously host Hangouts, and the total view counts for the channel are very small. Because once you have that first week or so, unless it's something incredible like Stewie's memorial, Rosie goes off at Stewie's memorial, Stewie, nobody cares. So therefore, you have no long tail. You have no long tail to build any monetization stream on. That's right. They are, as they say on the tin, a hangout to meet the content creators and fellow followers. That's it. But yet, some people will insist on building their whole YouTube career on that, which is fine, because if it makes them happy at the end of the day, that's a wonderful thing. But the monetization comes from building things of enduring value that people will watch year in, year out, year in, year out. Remember, I'm only talking about my monetization experience here on YouTube. I'm not telling other people how they should use YouTube at all. I'm just saying I'm here, you're here because you're interested in what my 6 years experience has yielded me in terms of what I think YouTube likes to see in the way of content. So I always tell people the trouble with Hangouts is they have no shelf life at all. After a week, chuck them out. Nobody cares. You know, drama does not rank high in YouTube's world of monetization. Just a plain fact. Let's see. Hi, Lionscrew. Love that vid from Rosie. Really nice. Yeah. I've tried live streaming from Waikiki. Few people watch compared to a regular video. Well, you know, Lionscrew, it takes a certain amount of cultivation to do live streams and make them good events. Now, for me, live streaming gives me a chance to interact with people real time. And if you're taking people to places that they want to see or doing the content that people want to see, they will tip you once in a while, which is not a bad thing either. You know, tip because they enjoy the content, they enjoy the experience. So therefore, the size of the viewing audience is not so critical in that aspect of it. But if you do something crazy, like some people perceive that I do on live streams, then it's a different story. You know, you're out in the hood, or you're out at a bar, and you never know really what's going to happen. Then people tune in. Hey, yeah, how you doing, Jordan Blue? Nice to see you. Yeah, Susie said I watched a Hangout after because I missed it. But did you go back and watch a Hangout from a year ago? Greatest Ever says, why do you live stream so much if it isn't profitable? Well, a live stream like this will be profitable. The reason is because it will be compact in nature. It'll answer a lot of questions for people. And it will be something that people can just flip on and maybe gain something from. But as far as live streams are concerned, it's more about the experience in this point in my life. But I still do put up content. I still do have baking videos. I still put up the audio videos. Still plan to do project metal detecting. People watch the hell out of those. Metal detecting videos go forever. I got people watching metal detecting from 5 years ago. My greatest finds. I'm still putting up continuous content. I'm just at a point right now where I'm limited in terms of my physical abilities because of recovering from surgery. And because Jen is recovering surgery too. Looked like you were about to get your ass mugged down in that Walking Dead filming. Like, I know, Jordan Blue. Have you tried Premiere? I have not, Line Screw. I have not. Gun range videos, all those kind of things. So, you know, like for me, greatest ever, it was a great question, but I'll think of pop-up content along the way. You know, if I'm traveling, how to find the real best value for this or that, or what's the best place to eat in this town if you're coming through and you're cheaper than hell, like me. What's the best value deal? What's really the best kind of tires to have for your Class B? You can occasionally put pop-up content on that. That's great. That a lot of people will watch. Yeah, you got to be a woman who wears many hats. Thank you, Jody. Jody with the 10-pound win. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that. So I hope this inspires some people to really understand about things. Now let's get down to the money. Some people have said, well, you only make 35 cents for 1,000 views. Maybe on Hangouts. Maybe on Hangouts, on replays, because things like Hangouts, YouTube ranks that so low. But let me tell you, there's some videos that we have that make upwards of $15, $10 to $15 per 1,000 views. Think about that. Think about that. A Jimmy Swaggart. How many people want to watch Jimmy Swaggart? A lot of people. YouTube considers that a premium viewing product. And they charge advertisers accordingly on that. Not everything is equally ranked. The people that advertise on a monetized Hangout, when it's all said and done, they're kind of low riders. You know, they're getting that, you know, the nighttime, late night, the infomercial kind of cheapskates that are getting the cheap ads on that. But if you look at some of the ads that play on a lot of our videos, you'll notice Ford Motor Company, you'll notice General Motors, liquor companies, Tiffany's, some really high flying, and the more you get along in monetization, you start to get attracting what's called premium ads. Okay, and sometimes that can be up to $10 per 1,000 views and even higher. Good content. It's the reason why the Super Bowl can charge more. Yeah, family-oriented content earns more CPM. Exactly. So it's not across the board. Thank you, Jody. I appreciate that. It's not across the board. But understand that when it comes to Hangouts, that's very, very low-rated material. Why? Because what happens in our Boyd/drama community has absolutely no interest to anybody anywhere else on YouTube. Let me repeat that. What happens within our community has absolutely no relevance or no interest to anybody else on the YouTube platform. We're in our own little closed solar system with a certain number of content creators, me, Elvis, others, Bergs, just floating around in this solar system. But I can guarantee you, people in the hot rod community, people in the fishing community, they have zero interest in Hangouts over here. That's why things have a very low CPM. So I guess my rule of thumb for you would be the broader the applicability or watchability of a video, the higher the CPM is going to be. So don't be dissuaded by people that tell you it's only 35 cents for 1,000. Yeah, well, it's 35 cents if it's a Hangout that has a shelf life of about 3 days. Now, Kayla said Elvis doesn't create content. You know, I've tried to take his head and put him into his own videos and say, look, Elvis, you did reviews at Airstream 190B, man. You got 150,000 views or whatever. You're making good money. You would think he would follow that, but does not. You can't make people see things that they don't want to see on YouTube. So I think that above a certain level, when you're a certain size creator, because advertisers will come in and they'll say, I don't want to be on the small channels. I want my money. It's got to be somebody who's 25,000 or 100,000 subs and above. That's another way that they set things up so that the people that are larger get rewarded. It's probably true that 20% of the people probably pull down 80% of the monetization on YouTube. It's just a fact of, like anything in business, 20% of your customers probably account for 80% of your revenue. Lion Screw says they call content that has consistent appeal evergreen content. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Yeah, you had a great idea for some content, but couldn't wait. I hear you, Tasha. Have I ever been sponsored? We'll get to that in a minute. You know, Susie, it just depends. Susie says, how do they base it? On whole vids, how long we watch, or just how many? They tell you videos should be under 10 minutes. I have videos a half hour. How am I going to tell somebody how to do, you know, this or that, or Jimmy Swaggart's whole deal? It's just, it's how engaging it is. It's how fascinated people, how fascinated and engrossing the video is. There's no real set thing. CPM also goes up, but if you watch the ad and click on majority of us had ad block. But, you know, people that think that they're blocking ads, they're really not preventing the money flow these days to creators, because YouTube Red is this silently rising giant that's subscription based. And every month, more and more of our money flow is coming from YouTube Red. And it's not something that anybody can cut off, you know. But, you know, there are people that use ad block, but the overwhelming number of people don't use YouTube enough that ad block would even be a concern to put something like that on. Do you get sponsored? Yes. Have I been offered sponsorships every day? Join this network. I used to be a member of Freedom Network. I bailed out of that Freedom Network. They didn't do anything for me. Avoid those networks that come to you and say, hey, join us and we can help grow your channel. They don't do anything for you. Nothing. There's nothing going to take the place of your own hard work in creating content. Nothing. They can't tell you that they can boost your rankings. They can't tell you that they can put your material more front and center. The only thing they can do is give you a library of tunes that you can use in your videos. People come to me, can you sponsor these sunglasses? Can you wear these sunglasses? No, I enjoy wearing my Ray-Bans. When Ray-Ban comes to me and says, could you do a sponsored video for us? I'll do it. In the meantime, I'm not going to sponsor Yin Yang sunglasses when I could care less about them, or this makeup. Rosie, could you do this lipstick review for us? I don't ever do sponsored stuff. It just has zero appeal. Susie says, I have read. Yeah, these are things that people send me. These are, you know, old friends of mine in China that have lived vicariously through me. They send me stuff, stuff coming probably in the next week. So there it is. There's the problem with Hangouts. Yeah, you might get monetized, but you're never going to have a high view count. You're never going to have, now some people don't care. Like I said, I want to stress that. Some people could care less. But Hangouts are like, they have no shelf life at all to them when it comes to monetization. Yeah, Lions Crew says, I'm constantly being offered products to push. I've hidden my subscriber count to stop these unsolicited offers. I just say no. I just say no. Yeah, Sherry Russell, those YouTube network companies that want you to join, they don't do anything and they take a percentage of your money and they don't do a damn thing. It is the video that gets watched and rewatched. That's exactly right. Thank you, Candid Candy. Thank you very much. So here we go again. Let me continue on here on this. Let me tell you, our biggest money maker ever proves that you can't predict success. In October or November in 2017, Missy Jenn did something that she's done 50 times since she's been here, at least on the Rancho. She put on a nice dress with her big rack hanging out, as she's done 49 other times here on the Rancho. And she went out to take a walk in the garden. Okay, a garden tour. And for whatever reason, I remember being, where were we, Jen? In Vegas and something. And we started watching this video. And all of a sudden it went from 400 views to 6,000 views till by the time we got back from Las Vegas, Jen's like, I think you better check this out. I'm, oh, you know, whatever, you know, and then get over there. And it's got like 80,000 views. And the next day, Simon, thank you. Thank you, Simon. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's what makes live streams really worthwhile, that right there. And bringing you guys content that you can use yourself. What was it, Jen? By the first week of, what did you say, Christmas time, we sat there and watched that thing running 150,000 views in an hour on that thing. An hour! Until it just went crazy, like 1.1 million views. I mean, that was a hell of a 2 weeks. And then, what was it, Jen? A couple weeks later, I baked a lemon meringue pie. And that was the same time Oroville Dam was having all that problem. And that thing just, it went nutty. 40, 50,000 views in an hour on that. Just went crazy. Jen's video, I think, made in excess of $6,000 in a 2 week period back in 2017. It was absolutely astounding what happened. We never had anything like that again, but things have broadened out quite a bit on the channels. There's a lot of content that people watch on, but I'm looking at Jen.
It's a one-time thing, and
it's a what? Yeah.
You did it that one time, and it's better than nothing.
Yeah, you just, hey, Polly, you just never know. You never know. And Harvey, if I'm running a Hangout, I really don't care what's happening on somebody else's Hangout, okay? Either be here or be there. You know, because I really don't have any interest in somebody doesn't have a side chat on that you can't interact. So, Missy Jenn, that was a very successful thing. That was then, this is now. You're not going to launch something huge on one video, okay? That's why, hey, Vinny G, how you doing? Yeah, I don't have any interest in watching somebody doesn't have a side chat on. I'm doing good, Vinny. It's just call it me. It's not my thing. Okay? You've cut out, you further marginalized yourself with what YouTube doesn't want to happen. They don't want to isolate Hangouts so it's just you. They want to have that Hangout. So there's nothing that really predicts the ultimate. Baking a lemon meringue pie, taking a walk through the Rancho. I mean, it's really mind-numbing when you see, you know, something go from 8,000 views an hour to 30,000, 40,000, 60,000. I mean, that's more than most people will ever have in a YouTube career. I mean, it's crazy. Something swept that up in the algorithm and moved that forward. Yeah, they flocked to see her walking through the garden. She's very elegant. You know, as much as she'd want to try to recreate that, it's impossible to do that. You just never know. But you'll always have that distinction of being the gal here on Boyd with the 1 million view video. And that makes me extremely proud of her. That's my lead sled dog. That's I'm sniffing the rear. She's up front. Leading the pack. Oh, thank you, Polvo. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're going to be chooching later. I got a few things coming up. And later tonight, late night, I'm going to be having an open panel. Anybody can join and have a blast tonight. Get a few adult beverages. Might have Kat coming on tonight. Haven't seen Kat in a while. Yeah, I think that, thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. So we're going to have a little surprise if it gets a little warmer out. Might have a little chooching content with the Missy this afternoon, but we got to be all bundled up. Probably our usual time. Probably head out about 4 o'clock. In the meantime, I'm sure Vinny's going to have plenty of good content and stuff for you. So I'm just going to wrap this up with this today, and I think I've covered a lot of ground here. Okay. If you have a passion, you'll succeed on YouTube because your passion will be contagious. It'll eventually feed other people that have that passion, and you'll have success. But if you start a channel just to make money, I can guarantee you're going to fail because you're putting the cart before the horse. Open panel will be about 9 o'clock tonight, 9 p.m. Late for other people, but it is what it is. Do it because you love it. Like I see, Vinny G has inspired me a lot. He does it for the passion. He absolutely loves what he's doing. He's a great showman. And he taught me and reinforced me to, Rosie, do what you want to do. The day you start shaping your channel to other people's expectations or desires is the way that you begin to lose yourself on YouTube. In other words, the day that other people begin trying to direct your channels, the day you lose your mainspring of your YouTube. Thank you, Sherry. Do things because you have a passion. Here's one of my passions, vintage audio. So I'm saying, Vinny, I credit Vinny for getting me over the hump of January and all the horrific things that happened in January. Because I laid in bed that night and I thought about what Vinny said. And I tried to think myself, if I didn't make these decisions and I didn't do this, and I said, that wouldn't be me. That would be somebody else. That wouldn't be me. In my darkest moment, that's what carried me. Vinny's like dilly gaff. Well, I do give a but at the end of the day, you got to be you. Yeah. Vinny said, you get one chance to cause a storm, might as well be a hurricane. That's why it works, because it's real. I mean, Vinny has inspired me to a tremendous degree. And I'm very proud of that. Do it because you have a passion for it. Do it because you love to entertain. Do Hangouts because you love to entertain. But understand that doing the content, taking people places. Now, I'll tell you, if you're live streaming from a historical place or you're doing something like that, that's different than being in just a panel hangout or something like that on the home ground. That's something that people will watch in the future. Give people experiences. Okay? Yeah, in Louisiana terms, he's cray-cray, but he's got a heart of gold. He's got a heart of gold, and he makes the days fun here on YouTube. And let me tell you, there have been some pretty bleak days, but he's made them fun. Well, that's it for my thoughts on monetization. I think the next time we talk about this subject, I'll talk about Super Chat. I'll talk about Streamlabs, my experience with that, TTS, text-to-speech, and all the things that I wanted to pursue a new direction on YouTube. And I wanted to be more mobile, and I wanted to be out in the field because I got a mouthpiece on me, and I love to engage people. Whatever the opposite of agoraphobia is, they say, Rosie, you're an exhibitionist or whatever. I guess I kind of am. But I like to be out there in people's faces and really getting involved in what's going on. Yeah, last month was brutal. Yep. And I like to be out there involved in having that fun. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out now. And thank everybody. Yeah, an extrovert. That's right, Polly. Somebody just loves being out there and getting it done in life. And the channel, as you guys know, it's rejigged. Hey, Dorlyn, how you doing, sweetheart? The channel's rejigged a bit, reformatting a bit. But to me, it's a good thing. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Jody, again for the 10-pound spot, and everybody else on here. Mr. Maduro, I think, was the other one on here, and everybody else. Thank you very much. Well, I appreciate that very much, Susan. Love you for that. Everybody can if they want to. So thanks so much for everybody, and see you guys on the road. And tonight, be having an open panel. Be nice to see the free birdie on there. Take care. Thank you, Simon. Thank you again. Thanks, Tom Finland. Thanks, everybody.